Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on Ethereum, your daily update. We're going to do a full update on the price action we've seen so far. We've had some relevant price action over the course of this morning as well. For Bitcoin more so than for Ethereum. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, we've had a lot of volatility, as you can see right here, which started with the Asian session being quite bearish. And then we had recovery for Ethereum on the lower time frames. That was also true, which I wanted to focus on a little bit in this video. I hope you all had a great weekend, by the way. I mean, I'm getting into this analysis very quickly. Maybe I have to slow down a little bit. But you can see the same for Ethereum, that before, it was actually a little bit earlier, but we got a bit of a pullback into the fair value gap and the naked point of control that we left after Saturday. As you remember from my video yesterday, Sunday morning during the Asian session, if you can call it the Asian session, because obviously the financial markets were closed, we actually had some momentum coming in. We left some imbalances. We dropped down to the bottom of those imbalances, and so far, and you can see also within one standard deviation of the 30-day rolling VWAP, so far, we actually got a pretty good reaction there. So that's good news, right? We got a good reaction there. We had quite a lot of volume going into that level, right? So there was quite a lot of strength with that move, and we held at that level. And then we also put in a second, kind of to test the buyer conviction, second time. And now we have some momentum coming in. So we found support at the support level where we have to find support. We're now at the 7-day rolling VWAP, which is quite crucial, right? Because the 7-day rolling VWAP, like if we hypothetically would want to get into an uptrend here with Ethereum, we need to get a strong breakout above the 7-day rolling VWAP, and then it's a possibility. And this is obviously something we also spoke about yesterday, right? Yesterday we spoke about, is Ethereum strong enough to get into an uptrend right here? Because Ethereum against Bitcoin is still very, very strong. Bitcoin has put in some decent price action over the last 2 hours. So is that still a possibility? I would argue yes. Do I think it's most likely though? I would argue no. All right. What I need to see for me to tell you, I think Ethereum is going for that leg up higher into 5,000 and 5,250, which is something I've spoken about very often as something I do expect. And I also do expect that, but not necessarily this week, right? So we have to kind of know the long-term bias, which for me is that. And then we have to take a look at the short term to kind of, judge whether we're going to do that soon or not. And for me, what needs to happen, for example, for me to say, all right, we're going to get into that uptrend, is not only a breakout above the 7-day rolling VWAP, which I think we can get that. I think that's not. I think that's not impossible. That's also what we did over the course of last week. But I think we also need to get a breakout above the fair value gap that we left right here around 4,560. Right? Fair value gaps usually work as a resistance if you see it like this. But if we're able to break above that and actually find support there, right? That means a lot as well. That's a beautiful break of structure. If we can do something like that, then I think we can get into an uptrend. I would say that's unlikely to happen today. It's Labor Day. We're not going to get a lot of momentum. And if you take a look at the volume right here, but also if you take a look at the open interest, it's relatively flat. There's no sign, in my opinion, that we are going to go up for that next leg up. So I do think the reaction that we had was good. I think the early momentum that we've seen today is good as well, but I think that's good for stability, right? So getting into that fair value gap, not breaking above that. We can break above that, but then we need to get strong momentum coming in over the course of tomorrow, I would say, when the US markets are open again. And honestly, I mean, today it's also still, or at least until then, it's also still possible that we drop down lower. As long as we hold that level at 4,200, we're fine and stable, in my opinion. But I would say that's unlikely. I think it's more likely that we're going up a little bit more. But those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know for today. So if you do have any questions, anything, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.